Hi, guys, and welcome to Miss German Let's Talk. Here we dive into the wildest, funniest, and darkest Reddit stories that we can potentially find on the internet, giving comments. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's get right into today's episode. So, what are we talking about today? So, one Reddit user asked, "What is the weirdest story you known to be true?" So, let's get right into that. I have here one user writing up, actually two, one saying, growing up, my older siblings used to say I was adopted as a joke. Turns out it was true. Like those siblings who come up to you and be like, yo, we actually bought you from the supermarket, or we found you were just in front of the doorstep. Just for like this is like the universal experience that a lot of people, including me, have with their siblings. Like when you have an older sibling and they're like just randomly at one stage in your life, they're coming up to you into your room or wherever you are, and they're like, yo, and they're starting to be like also theoretically like theatric, sorry, like they're so dramatic about it. They're like, I gotta tell you something. And you're like, as a little child, you're like, you believe everything, right? So you're like, yeah, what is it? I have to tell you something. We adopted you, and my parents are actually not your parents, and we're not siblings, just like to scare the shit out of you so that you can go on crying to your parents and be like, is that true? Am I actually adopted? So, but yeah, but this story that it turns out to be true, that's actually really sad. But okay, what do we have here? The other reader, I'm sorry, the other, who is that? Yes, he's writing similar story. While growing up, my dad was always traveling around the world, so I would joke with my friends that he had a secret second family. Turned out to be true. He secretly and illegally, I'm sure, divorced my mom and got remarried. My family knows about them, but the other one does not know about us. I asked him how he pulled that off. His response, a lot of lies. Wow, okay, that is actually very mad. Like, I can't even imagine how that person would feel, or how your wife would feel. Imagine one day you just go after what your husband is actually doing when he's going around the world for work, and then you find out he has another secret family. I mean, if it's really illegal, I mean, as long as you divorce the first woman and have like all the divorce papers signed, and their mom knew about it, but only the children didn't knew about it, then I think it's legal. But as long as the actual mother, so his first wife, didn't knew about it and got remarried, and he just got married in another country, then yeah, well, a lot of lies, definitely. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. I mean, sometimes we have in this world douchebag parents, unfortunately. Another story. A few years ago, I was at a subway station with my then girlfriend waiting for a train. We had been seeing each other for a few weeks, and had not met either circle of friends yet. We got on the subway when it arrived in the station and stood near the doors as people filled off the car. As we were waiting for the subway doors to close, I looked up and saw my buddy, Fernando. Oh, what kind of name that is? Fernando. Fernando. Okay, sorry. Saw my buddy Fernando walking by. I waved and yelled his name at the same time that my girlfriend waved and yelled his name too. Oh, she knows Fernando. Fernando and a dude right next to him looked in my direction and waved back, smiling. My girlfriend and I both looked at each other and at the same time say, how do you know Fernando? Turns out her friend Fernando and my friend Fernando, two separate people. Oh, okay. We walking next to each other as they were leaving the station when my girlfriend and I spotted them at the same time. Strangest coincidence I've ever encountered in my life. Well. There was something in the air that night, guys. I'm telling you, something in the air. The stars were bright. Fernando. Okay, let's go to the next story that we're having. We have two Reddit users here saying, the first one saying, me and my friend nearly got human trafficked. Oh, actually, sorry, it's one Reddit user who just say the whole story. So, me and my friend nearly got human trafficked in Prague. Still seems like a dream. And here he is saying, we got lost in a taxi on our way to the city center. We ended up getting out to try and find the club we were looking for as the fare was getting too high. We were on the seedy outskirts in the dark. This woman said she could help. She took us through this plain okay, wooden. She took them, okay, guys, she took them through a wooden door into a makeshift bar. No till, planks of wood for the bar, etc. She got a drink from the man at the bar, didn't pay, and said she needed to go and find her female friend. All right, guys. So if a woman out of nowhere tries to help you in a country out of nowhere, and it's and they know they are locals and they are trying to scam you, that it should be quite easy to spot that. Like there is a lot of like stories around in the Balkans where locals know, okay, those people, and if they try to help you and they know that you're tourists, don't help them, don't pay them for anything. So um be very cautious about that. For example, there are people I know in Paris that are trying to pickpocket you while you are a lost tourist who's trying to, I don't know, find the Eiffel Tower, and then there is someone coming up and be like talking to you, while on the other hand, there is a pickpocket guy who's coming up and like stealing your wallet or whatsoever. But let's continue with the story. She got a drink from a man at the bar and said she needs to go and find her female friend. So the beer tasted strange. There was, beer tasted strange. There was a woman crying in the corner, and I just knew something was seriously wrong with the whole situation. I finally persuaded my friend that we needed to get the hell out of there. As we were leaving through the makeshift door, she was running towards us with two massive, scary men. I've never ran so fast in heels on ice in my life. So, well, guys, that is a very dark story because you guys need to be very careful when you're tourists, and especially when you're a woman alone in a dark area and you don't know where to go, and you don't know the local language, and then people are trying to human traffic you. It happens a lot. There's a lot of people these days, and we don't even see that. We don't see that, but it's actually happening that there are so many humans per year getting trafficked. I don't know what the number is in the US or in Europe, but crazy. All right, I would say let's continue with the next weird story, my little guys and girls. So, when I was 16 for a school project, we had to write about our first memory, then add a short story about our parents raising us and what they ultimately hoped for us. My father, being the only parent I have, my mother passed away a year before this, told me I was in a coma for over a year as a kid. He just wanted me to grow up as a young man, living every day of my life the best I could and never take anything as granted. At first, I didn't believe I was in the hospital for that long, and I just remembered waking up in a hospital. I asked my older sisters and my brothers, and they looked at me like, you don't remember? My older sister told me my mom would visit me every day, and the hospital let her sleep in my room over the weekends. And that moment, it made sense. I couldn't speak correctly through kindergarten to second grade and had to have a professional speech therapist to teach me how to speak correctly. I talked like a 3-year old with very vocabulary to describe what I felt and wanted. That's crazy. Like, okay, it makes some more sense. So it's not too weird, but like it makes sense because when you're like in the stage of your age of like between 1 to 3, a lot of us don't remember what happens. There is some people of us, and I've been like knowing that from like friends around me and stuff. They say, oh, okay, I remember what happened when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, or 3 too. And then they describe it to their parents and they're like, oh shit, you do remember. So they're like maybe like little parts of our life that we do remember when we were like babies or stuff. It's more like a thing, when do you gain really conscious? But what is like interesting in that story is like that the user don't even remember that he was in a coma. Okay, it makes sense when he was like very, very, very young and he does not remember it at all, then okay. But like it's really sad kinda, because his mom was probably on his side the whole time, and then she passed away from it. Not from it, but like she passed away and he was in a coma. But you know, so he wrote down, because another person asked him, why were you in a coma? Um, he wrote down, my father doesn't exactly know why, but my sister said it was a high fever with a combination of the babysitter driving into a front of grocery store would have caused it. The babysitter made it all the way into the produce section. Well, we don't know what that babysitter have been doing at the end of the day, right? So, suspicious story. But honestly, I would say, guys, that's the end, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for today's stories. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and I'll be back soon with more crazy and the weirdest Reddit stories that we have. See you next time. Bye.